Welcome back programmers. In the today's section we are gonna learn TensorFlow from scratch. If you are beginner and if you are learning Python, so this is the very best next step to jump into the machine learning part. I'm gonna show you all of the basic concept, all of the beginners concept of machine learnings and TensorFlow. We are gonna focus on TensorFlow mainly, and before jumping into this video I'm gonna suggest you a very best book, TensorFlow for Dummies. Link is in the description. And all of the source code is available in my allinonecode.com website. Now, if you want to learn deeply, so I created a full video for TensorFlow. Link is in the description. That video is 1.5 hour long, so please check out this video. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a 2 video link in description, which is nothing but the official TensorFlow YouTube channel link and official TensorFlow website link, so you can check out now. Please check out. In the official TensorFlow YouTube channel you will find all of the parts, all of the topics. First you have to learn basic stuff and then you can learn that particular parts, so you can learn deeply. For example, if you learn the basic driving, you must learn the rules of driving, like when to stop in the traffic light and so on. So in the today's section we are gonna focus on basic parts of the TensorFlow, very basic from scratch. So please learn theory from that video and let's begin. So let's start. I am using the Jupyter notebook. You can use any ID you want. I just imported the NumPy, and from TensorFlow library I imported all of this stuff. And then I imported matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. So let's move on. So let's first start with what is TensorFlow. TensorFlow is an open source software library. TensorFlow was originally developed by researchers and engineering working on the Google Brain. And that's why lots of mathematicians, scientists use this TensorFlow library to solve the big equation. For example, this is the very basic example. If you want to find the velocity of the particular object, you can find it with TensorFlow. It's very simple. Brian Tin within Google Machine Learning Intelligence Researcher Organization for the purpose of conducting machine learning and deep neural network research. But the system is general enough to be applicable in a wide variety of other domains, as well as you can do a lots of stuff with TensorFlow, like face recognition, object detection, stock prediction, and these are the very basic, very basic simple examples of TensorFlow. If you learn TensorFlow deeply, if you learn TensorFlow very deeply, you can create your own logic. Like if you find the cure for cancer, that's how powerful it is. TensorFlow is a basically software library for numerical computation using the data flow graphs, where nodes in the graph represent the mathematical operations and edges in the graph represent the multi-dimensional data arrays called the tensor communicated between them. Please note that tensor is central unit of data in TensorFlow. Again, tensor is the central unit of data in TensorFlow. Graph represent the mathematical operation and edges in graph represent the multi-dimensional data arrays. Just like NumPy. Consider this image. Here's a node is the representing an additional operation between A and B. Now what is A and B? A and B is the variable, it's an input, and C is the output, which is the tensor. Now A and B is not tensor, now C is the tensor. We are gonna put all of this value in this session. I'm gonna talk more about it later, but A and B is the input and C is our tensor. Now this flexible architecture allows you to deploy computation to one or more CPUs or GPUs in desktop or server or mobile device with a single API. If you don't know what is API, check out my Django REST API series. Now what is TensorFlow APIs? TensorFlow provides multiple APIs, application programming interface. This is the full form of APIs. This can be classified into two major categories, low level API and high level API. Low level API, complete programming control recommended for machine learning researchers, provides final level of control over the model's TensorFlow core is the low level API of TensorFlow. Now what is high level API? Built on top on TensorFlow core, easier to learn and use than TensorFlow core makes repetitive tasks easier and more consistent between different users. tf.contrib.learn is an example of an high-level API. So now we are going to discuss the basics of TensorFlow core and then explore the higher-level APIs just like tf.contrib.learn. Now this is the TensorFlow for Dummies book. Link is in the description. I created a whole series about this book and I created a lots of video about this book. Link is in the description. Check out now if you want to learn TensorFlow from only this book. But in this series I'm gonna choose some important topics and learn more about that particular topics. So now let's start with the installing TensorFlow, and for that pip install upgrade pip, because if you are using the old Python or old pip, you have to must upgrade that pip. Then pip install TensorFlow for installing the TensorFlow. You can use either CPU or GPU version, and then from TensorFlow import star because I want to use all of the data, or you can just do is from TensorFlow import particular model, or you can directly import from TensorFlow, import TensorFlow as TF. So you can use the TensorFlow with the TF object. So as I said, this is the nodes A and B, and we are going to work with the tensor. So let's begin our first practical implementation. So basically we are gonna do this in TensorFlow. So let's start. So in here, as you can see, I already imported the TensorFlow. So now I don't need to create an object for that, or I don't have to use any TF or any name to use that particular TensorFlow module. I can use directly. So let's begin. So I'm gonna create a 3 node, node 1 equal to constant 3. Now what is constant? I'm gonna talk more about in later, but this is an function which returns the tensor by given the value. So as you can see, constant takes multiple arguments like values, data type, shape, name and verify shape. It returns a tensor containing the given values. So let's use this tensor's constant. So I created the one node. So I'm gonna use this format to create another 2 nodes. So as you can see, I created another. I passed the value 4. You can pass as many as or as any type you want in here. Even you can pass the array. Now we are gonna create another object to store 3 plus 4 in that particular object, and I'm gonna name it node 3. Oops, I have to name it node 2, so I can use it node 2. So now let's use node 3 equal to add function. Now what does this add function do? Simply it adds 2 values. So we are gonna pass node 1 and node 2. So now in the node 3 we got the summation of 3 and 4, which is nothing but the constant. Now let's create an session. Any TensorFlow core program can be divided into 2 discrete sections. Building the computational graph. A computational graph is nothing but a series of TensorFlow operations arranged into a graph of nodes. Running the computational graph. To actually evaluate the nodes, we must run the computational graph within a session. A session encapsulates the control and state of the TensorFlow runtime. So the question is how we are gonna create a session. This is very simple. We have to just use this session function. So let's use it. I am going to create an object named SESS, which is nothing but the ses equal to session. Now, if you are using the old TensorFlow less than 2 version, you must create this session. But after the 2 version, TensorFlow 2.0 has enabled the eager execution by default. But if you like the old version, so you can do is tf.compat.v1.disable eager execution to disable the eager execution. Eager execution run in Google Colab, view source on GitHub, download notebook. TensorFlow eager execution is an interpreter programming environment that evaluates operation immediately without building graphs. Operation returns constant values instead of constructing a computational graph to run later. This makes it easier to get started with TensorFlow and debug models, and it reduces the boilerplate as well. To follow along with this guide, run the code sample below in an interactive Python interpreter. So it simply means we don't need session. We can directly use this node 3 to print the multiplication, addition, whatever operation we need. So you don't need this line, you can directly print node 3. So as you can see, we got this 7. So now let's print the type of the node 1, which is nothing but the tensorflow.python.frameworks.ops.eager_tensor, which is nothing but our eager fastest tensor. And that is the beauty of using the TensorFlow 2. Now it isn't mean that you don't need this session, you really need this session, but for now you can learn TensorFlow without this session, but in the next part, in the development or in the production, you must use this session. Now as you can see, we got this 7, but what if I change this value into the fourth value? Let's try 5.6. As you can see, we got this error, cannot compute add as input. Hashtag 10 base was expected to be a float tensor but is integer 32 tensor. So you must define the data type of that particular tensor. So how we are gonna do this? And for that we are simply gonna use the d type equal to, you can use either TensorFlow data types or NumPy data types. So let's try with tensor data type. I am going to use float 64. So now as you can see, when I changed two data types with float 64, I got 9.6. Now whenever I compete with integer, so as you can see, we got this 9, but it's a float 9. TensorFlow has a lots of data types such as boolean, uint, uint 16, qint, integer 8, 16, 32, 64, qint 8, 32, float 60, 32, 64, complex 64, 128 and string. Now we are gonna learn more about later video, and in this video we just learned what is TensorFlow, what is the purpose of TensorFlow, how TensorFlow works, how to install TensorFlow, what is session, what is constant, what is the data types of TensorFlow, and so on. So that is it for today's guide. In the next video we are gonna learn a different function of the TensorFlow, and then we are gonna see how random function work. So that is it for today's guys. If you like this video, just like this video, share this video with other programmers, hit on the bell icon so you'll never miss my latest video. All of the code and source is available in my allinonecode.com website. Check out now. You can ask any question you want in my allinonecode.com website, or you can just go in the description to go in that particular link. So that is it for today's guys. See you guys in the next video. Till then, just learn.